Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be doing an exercise to strengthen your understanding of MongoDB. So we're going to create a new folder called MongoDB phonebook. And in here, we're going to create a new file called mongo.js. As we saw in the previous video, to connect to our database, we're going to use the Mongoose library. So we're going to install it. We're going to open our terminal and navigate to this folder. And we're going to run the command npm install mongoose. Once that's done, we're going to import the mongoose library. And again, since we're going to be creating a command line application, we're going to check the number of arguments provided. So we're going to have if process.argv.length is less than 3. Then we're going to console.log please enter password. And we're going to exit the process. Once we've checked that, we are going to create a variable called password, and we're going to set it equal to process.argv square brackets 2. So the password is going to be the third argument. Next, we're going to provide our URL, which we copied in the previous video. We're going to be using backticks, and we're going to paste in our URL. And instead of password, we're going to provide the password variable. And we're going to give our database a name. We're going to call it persons app. The next thing we need to do is set the strict query to false. So we're going to have mongoose.set strict query, and we're going to set it to false. Then we're going to connect to our URL using the connect function, and we're going to pass in our URL. So as we saw in the previous video, we first need to create a schema. So we're going to have person schema, and we're going to set it equal to new mongoose.schema. And we're going to pass in an object that represents what a person should look like. So it's going to have a name attribute of type string. And it's also going to have a number attribute of type string. Once we've defined our schema, we're going to create a person model using mongoose.model, and we're going to pass in person and the person schema. So our application is actually going to do two things. If the user provides a person to be added to the contact, it's going to add that person to the contact. But if the user only provides the password, then we want to display all our contacts in the database. So we're going to have an if condition, which is going to check if process.argv.length is equal to 5. That means the user has inputted a person to be added to the database. In that case, we're going to create the person object using the person model. And we're going to give it a name. The name is going to be the fourth argument. And the number is going to be the fifth argument. Actually, the fourth argument is going to have an index of 3, and the fifth argument is going to have an index of 4. The next thing we need to do is save this person to the database. So we're going to have person.save, and using the then function, which is going to give us a result, we're going to console.log a formatted string that says it's going to first display the person's name. So we're going to access that using process.argv, and the person's name is the third argument, and we're going to say that person has been saved, and we're going to end our connection. So we're going to have mongoose.connection.close. Now the other thing our program is going to do is it's going to display the contacts in our database if 3 arguments are provided. So we're going to have another if condition, which is going to check if process.argv.length is equal to 3. In this case, we want to display all the contacts. So we're going to be using a function called find. So first we're going to have our model, which is person, and we're going to have .find, and in curly braces, we're going to have no properties. So in here, you can provide a property. So let's say you provide importance set to true. In that case, it's going to find every person with the importance of true. But in our case, we simply want to display every contact. So using the then function, which is going to give us a result, we want a console.log phone book. And from the result, we're going to extract each individual person using the for each function. So we're going to have result.forEach. So result is going to be an array of all the persons. So for each is going to give us a person input. And in here, we want a console.log the person's name. So we're going to use a formatted string, and we're going to have person.name followed by a space. Then we're going to display the person's number. Once we've done that, we need to close our connection to the database. So we're going to have mongoose.connection.close. So now we can save our file and open the terminal, and we're going to navigate to this folder. So in here, we're going to test the different functionalities. So first, we're going to test adding contacts to our database. So the first argument is going to be node, then mongo.js. Then we're going to have our password, which is 123. Then we're going to have a name. So let's say Abel. And we're going to have a number. So let's just put in a random number, and we're going to press enter. As you can see in the console, we get Abel saved. Let's also add another contact. So we're going to have the same arguments. And for the name, we're going to pass in Jack. And again, we're going to pass in a random number and press enter. We get Jack saved. So the next thing we're going to test is viewing the different contacts. So in order to do that, we're going to provide 3 arguments. So we're going to have node, mongo.js, and our password, and press enter. As you can see, we get the different contacts that we saved displayed to the terminal. So this has been an exercise on MongoDB. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel to show your support.